So the Jazz get a huge win tonight over the Memphis Grizzlies. A lot of good stuff to take away from this game, and also some little things that were kind of bad. We saw in that first quarter, 34-22, the Jazz went up by 12. They really had a nice lead going right there. They did a nice job. They really did. Came out hot. They were making shots. They were playing good defense. And that all just kind of started to cool down after that quarter. They started letting up a lot more points, but that gap that they made in the first quarter was what eventually won them the game. But in that third quarter, we really saw Memphis's offense explode as well as Utah's. And I do want to point out, at one point in the fourth quarter, this game had a 9-22 scoring differential in favor of Memphis. So it's just, the Jazz really had to fight. They weathered a huge storm today. I'm very proud of this team for doing that. But one takeaway that I really want to just get across and be firm about: do not ever play Niang in a clutch situation again. He was completely lost on the defensive end. He looked like he had never played a game of defense in his life for Quinn Snyder. Of course, Quinn Snyder probably has the most complex defensive scheme in the league, but it doesn't matter. You got to still put in that effort. You got to be aware of what's going on. He didn't really have that in this game. Derek Favors, however, he was playing great. Didn't really score a lot, but 2 blocks, 8 rebounds. He was just fantastic. And this is one thing that I love about Faves. His effort never wavers. And even though he might not be the most physically, able person because he's old, he's been around the block like several times. Obviously, was with the Jazz for all of his career except for last year when he was with the Pelicans. He's been in the league a long time, but great stuff. 13 minutes of pure goodness from Favors. Clarkson, got to talk about just making shots early in the game. Didn't find his rhythm until later. 5 for 11 from the field, 2 for 7 from downtown. Still needs to warm up shooting percentage-wise, and I think that he's able to do that. It's just a matter of when. For Ingles, he didn't really play too much. 23 minutes. He was +4 on the game, but 3 points for him. Didn't really shoot much at all. 1 assist. He was kind of a non-factor in this one, to be honest. But when you really look at it, the Jazz, just another team win. Every single starter in double digits. Got to give a lot of credit, though, to this Grizzlies team. They stuck with him right up until the end. Dylan Brooks talking a lot of trash, but the one thing about talking trash, you can talk trash, but you got to be able to back yourself up, right? You got to put it on the floor. Dylan Brooks did a fantastic job of that tonight. 27 points for him, 2 steals, 2 assists, 3 rebounds, and also this is one thing that is basically unacceptable. We cannot allow, let's see, offensive rebounds. 16 offensive rebounds for the Grizzlies, and we only had 7. That is just unacceptable. And it was honestly a lack of effort. Towards the end of the game, we just kind of saw guys get a little bit sleepy down in that paint when they were trying to grab those boards. So, it's just an effort thing. If you're there and you're ready to get that board, you got to go up and snag it. And I think the Jazz had a lot of issues with that tonight, but overall, they lost that rebound battle by quite a bit, actually. They were down by 7 in that. But it was really just a shot differential, honestly. If you look at it, 19 threes for the Jazz. Shot it at a 44.2% clip, which is just fantastic. That's really what's going to win you the game right there. 19 for 43 for them. And 41 were taken by the Memphis Grizzlies, but only 13 went in. So 31.7%. That's the game right there. But really for me, it's just the fact that the Jazz were in that hole, 9-22 in that fourth quarter, and they just started to kind of pick it up in a clutch situation where we haven't had many of those this year. It is so important and crucial that the Jazz are able to get out and get a win in a situation where where it's not getting handed to them. The Jazz shouldn't have been in that situation. They were up by 12 or 15 or whatever it was at one point. You just can't. I don't even know how to explain it. A 12-point lead, that can dwindle down, but they stuck with it. We saw some points in this game that were just tough, but it's just one of those things. where they really weathered the storm, and it shows this team's character, how hard they can fight. The effort level really took a turn for the worst in that early stages of the fourth quarter, and then it started to go back up towards the end. That's what led the Jazz to get this big W. Puts them up 2-1 in the series. And, I'm loving the way that Donovan's playing. He's really going after it. 9 for 23 tonight. 2 for 10 from downtown. Obviously not the best numbers, but that 29 points is really, really crucial. And he also is really going in and being physical inside, which is I really hope he doesn't get injured, because in both games he's been going down and just kind of laying on the floor for a sec, coming up slow. I'm really hoping it's nothing serious whenever he goes down, but it's pretty common for him to just kind of flail himself around, but that's how he scores, so you just got to let him do it. He is very aggressive, but 30 minutes for Donovan. I'm not sure if he's on a minutes restriction or not, but it would seem that way based on Royce O'Neal's 32, Bojan Bogdanovic's 37, who also had a pretty fantastic game. 15 points, 2 for 3 from downtown, but it was really just the clutch shots that Bogdanovic was making, especially the mid-rangers, that really helped the Jazz get this win. Mike Conley also, huge game, 8 for 16 from the field goal range, and also 7 for 10 from downtown. So fantastic stuff from Conley in this one. Just overall, a great game from these starters. They played fantastic basketball. Obviously, Clarkson still working into his groove. It always takes time with guys like that to really get going. But I feel like it's going to happen. I don't know when, but he's going to ignite. He's going to start making shots and all that good stuff. Derek Favors, again, just fantastic effort. George Niang. I'm not even sure how you're supposed to pronounce his name because it has an S at the end. But don't play him in clutch minutes. Play him in the middle of the game. That's fine. But in minutes where it really, really is down to the wire, do not play him. He was just kind of running around, going through the motions. And I never see this from him. He's usually right in it. He's a smart player, very smart player. But that was a tough one. So overall, for the Jazz, big win. Going to go into this next game in Memphis. Could try to get that 3-1 lead. That would be huge. So be sure to stop in on Monday for the Utah Jazz and Memphis Grizzlies Game 4. It'll be on here. We'll be covering it live, play-by-play for you guys. So make sure you come in. And if you haven't already, subscribe. We're getting a ton of content out here soon. And even if the season's over, we're going to be producing lots of free agency stuff, all that good stuff, draft previews, all that good stuff. So make sure to subscribe, like up the video, and I will see you later.